Hey guys, it's Papa Nasty here, and today I'm making a video about Warhammer Chaos and Conquest. So today I'm not really going to be playing the game so much. I'm just going to be looking at a combat report that I did a little bit of a teaser for last week, but I didn't actually sort of give you the tips and things that people were hoping I would give them. Instead, I tried to make it more of an inspirational video. This one here I'm going to try and cover how to achieve combat results like this. So if you're not familiar with the report was 450k tier 5 and 50k tier 4 attacking my city, where I'm a keep 24 player. I do have some tier 4, but however all of my reinforcements were tier 3. This result is not surprising to me at all. It is what I expected. It is also what the attacker expected as well. But he was retiring, wanted to go out with a bang, and thought that this report would inspire people. He didn't pull any punches. He was in his regular PvP spec, and had buffs up and things. But yeah, so he wanted to try and inspire the tier 3 players because he cares about the game and knows that a lot of people are discouraged by the larger players, and he wanted to help balance that out. Anyway, so thank you Anazapta for giving us this final parting gift before you retired. Okay, as for how did this combat report occur? Now, big thing there's three main reasons why. The first thing is how combat works. So the attacker, first defenses attack, then the attacker attacks, then defender, attacker, defender, attacker. And it roughly goes like that there's 3 rounds of combat. Because the attacker gets to attack before the defender does, the attackers will usually try and win battles based on brutality. Try to win battles based on that first strike sort of principle, and so they will just try and kill you. Just kill you really quickly, and then you can't hit them back, basically. They go for that knockout punch on in the first round, and so the way to prevent that is with a wall of flesh. So you need to have your tanks and your damage dealers in combat. Contrary to what a lot of people have suggested when they saw my video, and they thought that, oh, you've got these tier 4 units here, they're the reason that you were able to beat the tier 5. No, it isn't. They are not the majority of my damage. They definitely do some damage, definitely. But the highest damage dealing units that I have are my Chaos Warriors, by far. Significantly more than the Knights, Vortex Beasts, or Gorby's Chariots. Mainly more than the Knights because of my champion spec, because I'm not going to spec for cavalry when I only have a very small amount of it. But also as well, it's even more than the Flesh Hounds of Khorne, because they are Khorne and not undivided. If they were undivided, then yeah, they would probably do more, but they're not. So maybe they're doing more. Anyway, so as a result, what I needed to do is I needed to protect my damage dealers. For that, you need to understand the combat ordering system. So the first ordering of the system is by tier. So you'll notice that all of the tier 4 units are at the rear. They're at the bottom of the combat report. They would be the last ones to take damage. The next ordering in combat is ranged. So within that tier 4, the ranged go to the rear and the melee units go to the front. So Gorby's Chariots are at the back. Just like for tier 3, the cannons, ogres, and pink horrors and sorcerers are all at the rear because they're ranged. Now within both the ranged categories and within the melee, the units are then further sorted based on their morale. So giants have a base morale of 80, so they go in front of all the other melee. Chaos Warriors, Blood Crushers and Hellstriders and Forsaken of Khorne all have a base morale of 56. However, I have actually adjusted using rituals the morale of cavalry so that my cavalry have higher morale than the other units. And so as a result, they would go in front of Chaos Warriors, and so if all of my giants were to die, the Blood Crushers and Hellstriders would be the next to absorb hits, because I need to protect my Chaos Warriors. Same thing for the tier 4, where the Vortex Beasts have 64 morale, and the other two unit types have 56. So Vortex Beasts go in front. That can be changed with buffs, like if I had a Bloodthirster, then the Hellstriders, the Flesh Hounds would go in front because of the plus 35% morale bonus from the Bloodthirster. Yeah, so that's the first thing. So as a result, it means that giants are absolutely awesome as tanks. Which is why I've got so many of them, because not only will they protect your tier 4 units, because giants are tier 3, but they will also protect your Chaos Warriors and your Hell Cannons and your Ogres. They'll protect everything because their morale is so high. And they're very durable units as well, so that's an added bonus. They are tier 3, which makes them it's a double-edged sword. You know, when attacking a lower tier unit, units get a plus 75% damage buff. So that makes, because they're tier 3, they are less durable than a tier 4 tank. But however, they get to go in front of everything, so they're actually able to tank, which makes them a whole lot more useful, even if they aren't necessarily as durable. Likewise, if you are attacking a higher tier unit, then you get minus 25% to your damage. So this means, what this means is that when a higher tier player attacks a lower tier player, not only do they get to attack first, but they're also getting plus 75% extra damage for when they try to kill all those tier 3 units. And that means that they can just absolutely power through. They can just power through the tier 3 units. But however, you're only getting minus 25% when you go to hit them back. So killing them is not actually that big a problem, provided that you can survive their initial sort of first strike, so that you've actually got your DPS units still alive to hit them. Which is why I've gone for so many giants, because I wanted to make sure that we could survive that first onslaught. I thought that I would lose more giants than what I did. I thought I would lose around about 800k giants, but I only lost 500k, give or take a little. So yeah, I could have done a lot more damage to the attackers if I had have swapped out some of the giants for Chaos Warriors instead. But we don't have that many Chaos Warriors in our alliance, so it's kind of worked out well anyway. But yep, so there's that. That's one big part of why I was able to win this combat. I had enough cannon fodder to absorb the initial hits and still be able to hit back. Now, how was I able to absorb the initial hits? As you know, I've seen some combat reports where people have had similar sort of numbers and they've been slaughtered. Now, one of the reasons, well, the whole reason for that is essentially buffs, right? So I'm Keep 24 in this combat report. I have tried to focus very heavily on getting good rituals. I was in a combat spec. I have a max level warlord. You know, I have all these sort of, I had more of my 25% buffs up. I was ready for an attack. So that's the other sort of big factor there, is that I've got all those buffs up. And then the third thing, and this is huge, and this is something that the main point that I want people to take away from this video, is that when you have a bigger player in an alliance, it boosts the alliance by a huge amount, as that player becomes the protector. They become the champion of that alliance, because when players send troops to reinforce that player or to join that player's warband, the troops will gain all of the buffs of that player. So instead of using their own buffs, which, you know, keep 16 player, if they send me, you know, 20k giants, those are just vanilla giants if they were defending the keep 16 player. But when they defend me, they're getting plus 200% armor, plus 100% health, which, if I understand the calculations correctly, essentially makes them around 6 times as durable as a vanilla giant. Likewise, a vanilla Chaos Warrior, you know, with no sort of buffs and things, they're not going to be doing a huge amount of damage. But then when they come over and they join me, they reinforce me, or they join my warband, they're going to be getting plus 150% damage, and plus 150% attack, and plus 100% extra damage. That means they're doing roughly 5 times as much damage as what they would have otherwise. Again, I'm not sure on those calculations, on how things exactly work, but that's how I believe that the equations work for combat. They would be doing 5 times as much damage as a vanilla Chaos Warrior. Yeah, and so for the alliances which sort of structure themselves, like we got, say, like Raise 1, Raise 2, Raise 3. And they put all the best players in the top alliance, and then they put the next lot of players in number 2, and then they put whatever's left in number 3. That's not the ideal way to structure your alliance. The best way is to either have equal strength alliances, or alternatively to have at least 1 or 2 very, very developed players in an alliance who can hold a city, to be reinforced, or can create a warband, and then all of the smaller players, the free-to-play players, the small spenders, they can then reinforce that player or join the warband, and they can be the support players. And so you have a whole team of players, a whole alliance of players supporting the larger players, and that is the best way to get value from players. So then even a keep 16 player with only 10 million points, they suddenly become very useful when they can contribute 50k giants to your reinforcements or to your warband or whatever. Anyway, that is what I wanted to go over. The video's getting a little bit long, but I hope that this has been useful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments. I will endeavour to try and answer them if I can. Also, if you'd like to be notified of when I make a new video, then please subscribe. I will try and post up another video in sort of a week or so, or a few days, whatever, detailing about rituals and buffs and which warlords to get and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so that's what I am intending on doing for my next video. So please tune in, and thanks all for listening, and yeah, cheers.